What's up, peoples? Mr. Anomaly coming at you again. Another day with Mr. A, huh? It's a great day. It's Happy A Day, baby. Happy A Day. Shout out to this guy, Chris Canwell. I did a reaction on him before. Another one came across my feed. TLDR, marriage is a trap for peons. He's going to say some things, but really, I like hearing my talking points reaffirmed because I'm a spiritual person. I might have mentioned it once or twice that I've had sex ed, in my 40s now. And there's a choice and trade-off for that. And I have, high-level wisdom and insight. I can see things spiritually. And one thing that I always talk about, and especially you guys that are free and you're not locked down, is be wary of women who settle for you. Women who are just trying to survive. Women who, I'm gonna have to do another one. I got a few videos. Y'all stay tuned. I got a lot to get off my chest. The lies men tell themselves. We live in this day and age where we have hookup culture. Women have made their choice. By the time she's 25, she's already made her decision. And her husband, it's just men are lying to themselves. I say all to say this. I've been saying this for the longest time. Women who go out here, they hook up with these yes men, the loaf of bread men who are just good little worker ants, and they have babies with these guys. And I keep saying, what kind of energy, what kind of spirit is that when you're with a woman who don't really like you? She already been with the man that makes her cooter tingle, who she wants to procreate with. Didn't work out for her, whatever reason. Now she's with you. And this dude is just lucky to have her. Again, he doesn't know who he is. We already established in that previous video, the programming's too strong. Why would you want to have children with a woman like this? This stuff matters, and it messes with your kids. But I'm going to let this dude go in. This is what happens whenever you don't know who you are as a man, following Babylonian, Rothschild, Rockefeller programming. And we already established most men think they're nothing without a woman, just setting themselves up for failure. Marriage is for peons. And this is why the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. And they've done it for so long now that they don't need us anymore. They do not need the masses. AI is here. Watch Demolition Man. Cat's gonna be under the ground eating rat burgers. Yeah, it's just that serious. Universal basic income. It's here, y'all. It's coming. But anyways, I digress on that. We're gonna talk about the normies. And again, I keep telling you, man, I would rather go back to the word. I'd rather be in a desert than be with a woman who don't like me. This affects your kids, but let me let him go in, and I'll break it down whenever we get to it. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Chris Canwell, and in this video I want to talk about why marriage is a form of incremental slavery. It is slavery, but to get to that point, it doesn't start out as slavery. It starts out...
I disagree, personally. What was that, what did that guy say? Civilizational awareness, not realizing your position in life. I say it starts out even before you get married. Why would you want to procreate when you're in a peasant position? And again, you can sit up there and make the case, yeah, there's nothing wrong with getting by, working a job, and keeping your head above water, making a way when we can. I mean, that's fine if you want to sit up there and be at the mercy of those who are in power and talk about they're not fair and they're taking all the land and oh Lord, if that's the position you want to be in, again. The kings are fucking our wives because they're at the top of the pyramid. If you don't want to admit your situation in life because you're lying to yourself, again, we start right there. As soon as you step out the door, lying to yourself. So we can. This might be too extreme, but y'all know how I think. You're getting down. Think about this. You're in Babylon, the programming, the social norms, and all that, and you're so gone that you think that you're nothing without a woman. You're gonna get down on one knee. That this non-virgin woman already gave her body away to God knows how many men, and you're going to sit up there and just wipe the slate clean and act like she's brand new? You fail fresh out of the gate. That's just my opinion. Because you don't know who you are as a man. You're basing your self-worth on being a father, a parent, and all that shit. You think you're nothing without a woman. You think you're nothing without a family, and then you get and we're going to get to what happens when you get what you want. The illusion, when it's based on illusion, the truth will reveal itself, and it's not going to be pretty. And again, that's why I keep this is my opinion. That's why most people are in Satan's playbook. It all starts there, bending the knee to the Jezebel. I didn't mean to go on this tie-up, but this is my spirit. This is where I'm at. I've been posting this space 8 years. People gotta evolve out here, man. We live in a society that bent the knee to the Jezebel, so dudes are failing fresh out the gate. This is my opinion. So you're already starting off in deception and lies and illusion, and now you're bringing kids into this crap. I thought I was a selfish prick. People bringing kids in this crap, knocking up Jezebels, knocking up harlots, and I don't care about the men, because the men who can sleep around and do that is a small minority. So I'm gonna keep straight. Why don't you talk about the men? I don't care about the men. We're talking about the majority.
As a man and woman getting together and they fall in love, or they have a lot of attraction for each other, there's a lot of freedom, there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of fun, they go traveling together, the woman's coming over to the guy's place. She's
all based on this face love, fairy tales, commercialism. It's based on a lie. It's all based on an illusion. You got grown ass mother suckers out here talking about some falling in love like they're 16, 17-year-old kids. But the programming is strong, y'all. And these motherfuckers are responsible for people's lives. Crazy, man.
Sleeping with him, she's fulfilling all of his sexual fantasies. And before you know it, the man's on the hook and he's willing to sign his life away, because a lot of guys think that if they marry a woman, this is the only way that they are able to keep a woman. Now, this is very, very tempting for men who get beautiful women.
Sorry to stop this, because it's only 45 seconds in. I'm already 6 minutes in on a ramble. Hold up, man. I just lost my train of thought. I gotta run that real quick.
Guys think that if they marry a woman, this is the only way that they are able to keep a woman.
Again, guys, what society do we live in? Dudes will say a woman is wifey material just because she looks good. Men will say a woman is wife material just because she looks good. One more time. Men will say a woman is wife material just because she looks good. Never mind her energy, her spirit, just because she looks good. Completely blinded. Why is that? There's a reason. There's a reason, guys. There's a reason. We live in a society that bent the knee to the Jezebel. Men think they're nothing without a woman. I could tell you a couple, 3 things by not talking about not having sex. I've learned a lot. Dudes are thirsty out here, failing fresh out the gate. This is my opinion. This is my opinion. Y'all clicked on my face.
Now, this is very, very tempting way that they are able to keep a woman.
How does that work out for you? You can't get a woman talking like that. So what does that tell you? Most men kowtow, stepping on eggshells. The woman's doing him a favor. That's the basis of the whole relationship. I'm lucky to have her. Gone. Fresh out the door. Hello, my name is Mr. Gump. You failed at hello, my name is Mr. Gump. Dudes are lying to themselves, the programming and all that. This is my opinion. And you're bringing kids into this shit, and then your illusion just crumbles. That's why the divorce rate's so high, because it's all based on a lie. And again, this is where we are, bro. Oh, it's gonna cost me the woman. How did that work out for you? Dudes don't have any principles. Dudes don't want to tell them no. So is it a wonder that all these, generally speaking, these relationships are set up to fail? Generally speaking, for majority of the normies. How many men are actually in control of their marriages? How many men are the quarterbacks of their marriages in 2025? Not many. Anomalies, if you will.
Now, this is very, very tempting for men who get beautiful women, especially men who don't have many options. They will get a relatively beautiful woman, they get amazing sex, and they're willing to sign their life away to keep it.
That's another thing. I'm sorry, guys. Hey, I'll click on my face. Y'all be hyping up women and sex so much. This is why I gotta talk crap to you dudes. And again, guys, this is bigger than me. The programming is way beyond me. This is decades and decades of programming. I'm ice skating uphill, combating this. I sit there and watch you dudes shaming other men. Like, y'all call dude a virgin as an insult. I'm watching these AI memes. They're talking to Dr. Strange. He was like, I've seen 4,000 realities. And in none of those realities, you get any bitches. That's supposed to be that's an insult to normies. That insults y'all. I don't get no bitches. Oh man, that's the mentality, y'all. And if that's the mentality, is it a wonder why most men are set up to fail? You guys hyping it up, making men think they're less than. Again, guys, I'm going to keep harping on this. Then you get a woman, you don't want to let her go, you're fucked. because you're going to do whatever it takes to make her happy, and you know damn well that that's a futile task. But you listen to everybody else. You think you're nothing. You got a woman that's attractive. She see you coming a mile away, and you bring your kids into this stuff. Oh my God, bro! It's bigger than me, y'all. I'm just calling it how I see it, man.
Not understanding that over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, their attraction for this woman is going to decrease drastically. The amount of stress she's going to cause you is going to increase as well. She's going to become more problematic, more difficult, more invested in you, and expect more from you, which is going to cause you more problems. Now, what do I mean by incremental slavery? You start off free, and before you know it, you're working to support your wife, who no longer wants to work because she wants to take care of the home and get ready to have a baby. And then you have a child, and then you have to work to take care of the child and the wife. And what does the woman do? Well, she knows that she has to keep you as a donkey, a work donkey. And so how does she do this? She uses sex as a way to control you.
Not just sex. We're doing all this on the fly. I got so many clips, I just don't have them ready, but I just thought about one. What does she use? Not just sex. She also uses her words. That's why I say a woman's words, man. To me, doesn't mean shit, good or bad, man, because it comes and goes.
Here's how to make a man do anything for you. Just gas him up all day, every day. If I see my husband working hard, I'm like, oh, baby, I love me a hardworking man that provides for his family. He could literally be taking a and I'll be like, I love me a regular man. I tell him that he's a great husband 10 times a day. Why? Well, because it's true. But 2, because men thrive off that shit. All you have to do is tell him that he's Superman, and he'll change his name to Clark Kent the next day.
Boy, they be watching y'all. They watch men way more than men watch them. What happens whenever she flips it? Okay, she's giving you positive affirmation. What happens when she wants to go on the negative side? If the positive affirmation is making your day, what happens when she says you got a little dick and I faked every orgasm? That's gonna ruin your goddamn day. Positive, negatives mean shit to me. I told you, the only time her words matters if he R-worded me or he touched them kids and he didn't do any of that. That's the only time a woman's words matter. This shit right here, again, dudes who don't know who they are, dudes who base their self-worth, this is the kind of crap they can do. And women can tell men who kowtow to them. They can tell immediately. You don't have to say anything because, again, it's all vibration, it's all spirit. Men who kowtow to the Jezebels more than others, they can tell if you're a man who does and a man who doesn't. This is spirit. You don't have to say anything. That's why they get quiet around me. I'm not part of this world. I ain't molded by this culture or anything. And they can tell. That's why they don't say anything. They can't say shit to me. It is what it is. A lot of dudes too. Dudes who base their self-worth, dudes like she's described right there, ain't got nothing to say to them either. Again, you can only go as far as a person you say hello to. What's a dude like this? Like what are we doing here? This is wild. She knows exactly what she's doing. Again, I faked every orgasm. You got a little dick. You never satisfied me. Now your whole life is ruined because you base your self-worth on some illusion. I'm preaching to somebody here. Then again, this is so many layers to this stuff, man. But we live in a society that bent the knee to the Jezebel, kicked God out of schools, and this is the result of all this. That's why AI is taking over now. That's what y'all wanted.
Good enough, and he will move mountains just to kiss your feet. Men are so simple.
She's saying it, not me. This is an AI. This is a real woman. She's saying it, not me.
All true. But 2, because men thrive off that shit. All you have to do is tell him that he's Superman, and he'll change his name to Clark Kent the next day. Appreciate a man good enough, and he will move mountains just to kiss your feet. Men are so simple.
Is she wrong?
All they need are affirmations and booty. That's it. And our words are so powerful, we can literally turn a hobo into a CEO simply by pouring into him.
That's scary, y'all. That's scary. That is scary. Dudes who can't even, they have no internal cultivation. They can't do, they need that. They need the external. That's sad because they can take that away at any time, and they do.
She restricts your access to other women. and she ensures that she's the only source of sex, and she controls the amount of sex that you get, so that keeps you on the hook. And bit by bit, you're slowly trapped and enslaved. Now, a lot of men accept this deal. They just accept it. It's a part of life, right? The wife is the ball and chain.
Happy wife, happy life, the boss. And again, this is the society we live in. Potiphar's and Ahab's. Powerful positions, companies. Most of these companies and all that stuff, that's the motto. That's the energy behind this. Bending the knee from the Jezebel, it's all blood money. It's all tainted. And that's the majority of society. Television, everything we're using right now. Again, somebody posted last video. Yeah, we're using the phones, we're using the computers. I'm using all this shit. Again, it's crazy. Like, I'm using all this stuff. It's all blood money. But again, what do you do? What do you do, man? You got to use the tools and shit. You got to be online. You can't live off the grid. You get arrested for living off the grid. You got to be connected. I don't know, y'all. I don't know why I see the world. I don't know where we're going. I don't know. I really don't know. But, you know, it is what it is. Crazy times, man.
Be trapped and enslaved. Now, a lot of men accept this deal. They just accept it. It's a part of life.
Like, that's true, man. Like, dudes accept, like, yeah, this is normal. Yeah, this is happy wife, happy life. The ball and chain. I got to check with the boss. And these dudes can afford the cost to be the boss. Some of them company own CEOs. But he bent the knee. Potiphar's and Ahab's. And again, it's bigger than me, y'all. I only got 187 subs. Channel got taken down. What do y'all want from me? This is Legion.
Right, the wife is the ball and chain. You're getting hitched, you're getting married. This is why all the married men I talk to are envious and jealous of men who are independent and free.
That's not an accident. Why is that, generally speaking, most men? Dudes are lying to themselves. They think they're nothing without a woman. They bent the knee to the Jezebel. Most of y'all reject God. And this is the result y'all get. These soulless marriages, these jobs sucking your soul. And then you die at the end and nobody gives a shit if you don't delete yourself. The loaf of bread Babylonian programming is here, y'all. And again, they pacified the masses for so long. AI is here now. AI is here. Now the truth, everything's been unveiled. They don't need you anymore. Pacified you with this middle America shit just to keep you along, and now they depopulation agenda's here. We'll see what happens, y'all. Let's keep going.
If you go out into nature and you look at animals, they're free. They're not tied down, they're not restricted, they're not locked into relationships, they're not locked into a marriage. I'm not against relationships. I think relationships can be wonderful, they can be beautiful, but this is a warning for men. There's a big warning. Marriage can lead to slavery unless you're willing to maintain your freedom. Now, I've probably only seen a handful of men who've been able to stay married and keep their freedom at the same time.
I just said that. How many men are married with kids and actually the head of their God, man, woman, child? How many? At all my friends, I know one. Been married 20 plus years. Still going strong from what I can tell. One. He's the only one. It's not common, bro. What does that tell you? The majority of these relationships bent the knee to the Jezebel. God's not in these relationships. This is why most people are in Satan's playbook. This is why they're easy to manipulate, easy to control. And we live in a society that men think they ain't nothing without a woman. I can tell you a couple, 3 things by talking about not having sex. 8 years posting. The comments I got from you normies, this is why I be talking shit to you dudes too. The majority of y'all kiss my butt. Yep. There's a reason why so many men are falling for this path. Again, I'm talking for those that ain't tied down. If you free, how you want to play it, man? Because so many men base their self-worth on the ideology of the loaf of bread programming. You see the results of it. It doesn't end well. Kids are susceptible to this demonic programming. Just more pieces of meat. These women are OnlyFans. You know, dudes, like I said, I'm Gen X, man. These are Gen X dudes' daughters who are OnlyFans. Man, my generation failed, bro, and our generation before that too. But still, man, dudes out here have no control, none whatsoever. The government owns y'all's kids. And again, that goes back to the very beginning. You have no goddamn powers for peons. Why the fuck would you want to have kids and you don't own anything? I don't. It doesn't make sense to me, bro. It doesn't make sense. You have no control. Can't control when you take a break or not. Can't. You know what I'm saying? 2 checks away from being homeless, but you had a goddamn family. It never computed to me. Never. Even when I was a kid, never computed to me. Oh, I guess I just think like a dictator or something. I don't know, bro. It just don't make any sense, man. But let me keep going. That's good shit.
They can do it, but they do it from the beginning. They set strict boundaries, and the woman accepts the deal because women naturally want to take care of men. They want to serve you.
At the beginning, at the start, you got to lay all this up front, man. Who the hell are you? Got to do some soul searching. If you can't stand living life and enjoying life on your own, you don't need a woman. I'm gonna die on that hill. If you can't enjoy your own goddamn solitude, you don't need a woman. She doesn't add on to it. You add on to her. She's the icing to your sundae. She's just a cherry to your sundae. Your sundae's already built. She just adds a little cherry on top. I understand that part. I understand that, man.
But if you allow her to flip the script, she will make you her slave. Instead of her serving you, you will be serving her and the house.
Dudes are failing fresh out the gate, hooking up women who had their whole phases and getting married in their 30s and stuff. Man, you've already failed fresh out the gate. Fresh out the gate, done. And then you're bringing children into this, which we're going to get to in a second here.
I used to look at my dad, and my dad got married fairly young to my mum. And when I looked at my parents, my dad was never happy. He was always stressed out. He hated being married, I could tell. He didn't like being married. He didn't like having kids. He didn't like the restrictions on his freedom. He was highly stressed out.
Listen to what he's saying. The kids can see whenever you guys are with women that are just draining your souls. These kids are not stupid. This is the main reason I want to do this video. It freaking matters. I thought y'all gave a shit about your kids. I don't even have kids, and that pisses me off. Y'all are bringing kids into this crap, man.
I remember he used to come home from work, and back then when I was a kid, this was really rare, but my dad had a gym at home, and he used to come home, he used to pump the weight.
I don't see how y'all do it. Think about this. You work in a goddamn job you don't want to be at. You're doing that for 8, 12, 16 hours. You get off work and you got to do something else because I don't see how y'all do it. I don't see how you people do it. Working a job you don't want to be at, then you got to go home and deal with another job. Oh, hell no. Hell no. I don't see how y'all do that. And then you got dudes that say that's what a real man is. You got some men out there say that's what being a man is. That's that loaf of bread ideology. Then you're bringing kids into that and you're making your goddamn sons loaf of bread. You better. Let's be smart out there, y'all. Let's use our brains, man. Again, I'm talking to the dudes out there that want to double down on that shit, man. There are guys that got married and they realize, oh shit, I made a mistake. I'm talking about the dudes that are doubling down on stupidity. I ain't trying to talk shit to the dudes that learn their lesson, know they made a mistake. I'm talking about the dudes that are doubling down on stupidity. Dudes that are promoting this crap, trying to Boyce Watkins and all these other simps, I got a problem. Those are the dudes I'm talking shit to. Because again, a lot of us are ignorant. A lot of us don't know the programming. Some people are just stuck though, man.
It's really hard for 2 hours, and then he would go on a long bike ride, and then he'd come home, he'd get out the bottle of whiskey, go away. He ran home from work. He was highly stressed out. I remember he used to come home from work, and back then when I was a kid, this was really rare, but my dad had a gym at home, and he used to come home, he used to pump the weights really hard for 2 hours, and then he would go on a long bike ride, and then he'd come home, he'd get out the bottle of whiskey, pour in the ice, pour in the whiskey, sit in his favorite chair and watch the news all night or watch a movie drinking whiskey, and it was anything he could do to kill stress.
This is where it leads, man. That again, It's all designed to take away your independent sovereignty, bro. And again, once you get married and have kids, you are willingly neutering yourself when you do that, man. Because you're really stuck, man. You have to go through some shit.
So it was a lot of exercise and a lot of alcohol, anything that could reduce his stress levels. Now, this came from work, it came from being married, and he was just so frustrated from the whole setup that me and my siblings, we noticed this, and we said to him later, look, you didn't really like being married, did you? And he admitted it. He said it was very stressful. And
that's pretty much the gist of the video. That's why I want to do it, just confirming what I've been saying. These kids know, guys. They come from you when you become one flesh. They come from you guys. Of course they can sense if y'all aren't. Even if you're trying to be cordial with each other, they know. Kids are not stupid. And this is the result whenever you bend the knee to the Jezebel and marry one, being completely ignorant. Like I said, if you don't get involved with one, just know what you're getting into. You ain't first, you're last. She can't pair bond to you. And I don't know why you want to increase your kids having that type of energy. But hey, man, I'm just a dude. Yes, it is a trap for the peons. The rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. I agree with this. Am I based on that? That was just my take. It's about 4 minutes of him talking. I get about 26 minutes. But that's just how I see it, man. You know, it is what it is. Basing your self-worth, thinking you're nothing without it. It all leads to stuff like this. Thinking you're nothing without a woman. I ain't shit. You're just gonna make yourself a slave. You're gonna lose your soul. It is what it is. But that's all I got on this one, man. Hey, man, the milk's been spilled, the die's been cast. All you can do is move accordingly. I'm out, good peoples. Laters.